Good afternoon, everybody. Terry Levin here from Awesome Dynamic, welcoming you to the Awesome Dynamic Show. As usual, this week we are going to have a topic we're going to discuss. We also have a website we're going to review, and also Robin, our SEO specialist, had the opportunity to go to a seminar this last week, and we want to get some information and input from her on how that went. So we're going to jump right in. I want to say that we do have Paul Dorian, we have Robin, and we have Blake with us, our usual crew. Glad to have Robin back. We missed her last week. And I want to jump right into her blog, but I do want to mention that we do have look for your interaction. So we're working. I think we might have a little issue on our question box, but we're working on it. So keep an eye on that, and hopefully if you have a question, you'll get it through to us through our website. In the meantime, let me turn it over to Robin, and she can start talking about today's topic for us.
All right, so today's topic is writing and the writing guide rules that you can use on your own website and apply today in order to. Oh, okay. No, today we're doing how to spy on your competitors' websites. Okay, so um, so the first thing would be why is it important to figure out your competitors' keywords? Um, well, it's important because you want to rank for those keywords as well, so that you can beat them out. If they're always beating you out on Google and other search engines, and then you want to make sure that you're at the top by seeing what keywords they're using, put those on your website, and then you can beat them. So how can you find those? You can just go to your website and then see how many times you have it on your site. So like for example, if I right click and press page source, I can see all of the keywords here. So then the places to look are probably in your metadata. So if you say title, you can see the title of the page. So for instance, you can put in keyword as well. Sometimes that'll pop it up. And the keyword for this blog specifically was spy on your competitors' websites. So you can see that's more of a longer keyword, so we call that long tail. Normally it's easier to rank for long tail keywords versus if you just wanted to rank for SEO, that would probably have a lot more competition than this whole thing. So the second thing you want to do is use some of these tools. So before we go over the tools, you can see that spying on your competitors is going to give you a lot of information. For example, looking at articles when they're mentioned, you can see what types of sources that they're getting for backlinks for their websites. You can see how to rank on top of them by using these different tools and where their weaknesses are. You can use free and paid tools to see their data points, and data points are just like things like, do they have their keyword in the title? Do they have their keyword throughout and how many photos do they have on their page? Do they have a video on their page? So data points is just a fancy word for how good is their page and what's on it. And then that'll allow you to make some good decisions for your competitors. Okay. So here's a couple of cool tools you can use. Google Alerts is something that we use right now for our clients. All you have to do is go to google.com/alerts, and I can put that in the chat here. And that will get you to this screen. So you have to have a Google account. You have to have a Gmail account. And all you'd have to do is put in what you want an alert about. So I get alerts on, let's say someone's looking up Awesome Dynamic. You can see I put a plus sign in between there. Then you would edit it and see if anyone's writing about you online, or if anyone's mentions you in a blog post, so you don't have to just keep Googling yourself. It'll just come right to your inbox. So I say at most once a week. Source can be anything, but I just say automatic, videos, news, blogs, anything. English, I do United States. If your business is outside the United States or in multiple places, you can put different ones here. How many? I say only the best results in case there's a lot of them. And then where to give it to. So that is super simple to set up. You can set that up on on your own site and any of your competitors. You can see that we do have it set up on some competitors here. And you can do the URL, but you can also, let's say if I wanted to add in, let's say Adept Plus. I'd create the alert, and I'd go ahead and edit it at most once a week, automatic, English, let's say US only the best results, and right delivered to my inbox. So that's how you do that one. All right. You can get a lot of good information from there. And you can also, Google Alerts is also a good way to generate ideas for blogs for your own website. All right, SEMrush, this is a paid one. You do get to see a lot of information though. It could be overwhelming at first, but what you're going to see is where the weaknesses are in your competitors' pages. You can see what keywords exactly that they have, how much anchor text they have, and anchor text, that's an example of anchor text, something where you hover over it. So the anchor text for this would be anchor text. For here, this would be GTmetrix would be my anchor text. Here it would be Keyword Planner Tool. All right, so SEMrush is good if you're more advanced in your SEO program. Google AdWords Keyword Planner Tool. If you don't want to pay for a keyword research, you can get a simplified version. It won't be as good, but you can sign up for an AdWords account for free. But then you would have to, in order to use this free tool, so you don't have to actually pay for AdWords to use the tool. That'll give you a list of great keywords to use and what has high competition, what has low competition. It's not as specific as other programs, but it will at least give you a good idea of, if you have no keyword research at all, what keywords that you should be using to rank better on Google. In general, you want to use high traffic and low competition keywords. Okay, then we have GTmetrix here. That's something that we'll be using probably today. That tells you just your site speed, and it tells you what's wrong with your website. So if you're not ranking at the place you want to be ranking on Google, go to this website, and then you'll see what's working and what's not. We can do, let's just put in GTmetrix for, we're going to be doing this later today for this client specifically. But I'll let that run while we go back to the article here. Okay. And so what GTmetrix does is it gives you like your average load time for your home page and the other pages. So it tells you how fast your website is. And if it's not fast, why it's not fast, and how to fix it. So then you can just copy that and give it to your web developer, and they should know what to do with it. Okay, it's scanning it now. So we'll move on to the next one. Open Site Explorer by Moz Tools. This is one where you can just simply copy and paste your competitor URL into this Moz Tools. And there's a free intro version, which is okay, but to get the full effect, you really want to use the paid version. And then you can see all of their anchor text. It's not going to give you the full version because it's the free one, or it might limit you on how many you can run, how many websites you can run. But yeah, it will tell you how to rank for that content, how to rank for the same, if you want to have more pictures, higher quality content, you can put customers' real questions, or it can provide valuable data on that site so that you can find, it's basically, SEO is just doing better than your competition. So if they have 300 words on their site, put 400 words on your site. If they have 2 pictures, put 3 pictures on your site. Those little things can help you with not only the user experience, but also ranking higher on Google. Okay, so let's go back to this GTmetrix. Okay, so we can see for this website specifically, we have a page load time of 5.4 seconds and a score of an F and a Y-SQL score of a D. So these were all the things that we would need to fix on the website. Then we can get those scores up, and then the website will overall rank better online. Typically, you want to have 3 seconds or less as an average load time. Okay, so now let's go back to the article here. All right, so the 6th tool you can use is called Keyword Spy. Similar to some of the ones above, But you can use this thing called the Organic Competitors Report. So I thought that was very cool. So this is there is the free version of it, and there's the paid, so you can at least get a little bit more of a sense. And doing all of these 10 things in one day, I mean, if you spend like, let's say, an hour, you can at least get a little bit more of an edge and understanding of your competitor. All right, and this is fun, the Data Geek method. This is tool that's been out there for a little while, but if you have Excel, Microsoft Excel, all you have to do is download this, the SEO tools for Excel, and I got the link right here. I can put that over here for you, Blake. All right, so you do have to enter your email to get the download though, but it is free, and it's very useful. Basically, instead of going to each one of your competitors' websites by hand, or using one of these other programs like Open Site Explorer or SEMrush, or I know Spider Frog I think is down here, or Screaming Frog. Those all do the same thing, but you have to pay for those. This one is free. But you have to really know Excel and really dive into the details and learn the program. The other ones are nice and pretty and automatic, and they do it all for you. So if you really want to dive deep into the raw data, this would be the option for you. So what you can do is get all the info. So it tells you, how many words on this page, what's their metadata, how many characters is their metadata, can I do better than my competitors? And then you would look at, let's say you look at the top 10 pages, or you look at the top 100 pages for a keyword that you really want to rank for. And then you look for patterns. So if you see 9 out of 10 top 10 pages for your keyword are ranking because they all have 700 words on their average 700 words, and your page only has 400 words, well, why don't you put 800 words on your page now? So then it'll tell you exactly, what you need to do. Screaming Frog's really similar to the other ones, just another one for spying on your competitors. It also does the SEO spider, which is basically, instead of going in each website by hand, you just type in all the URLs, and it tells you all the information you ever wanted to know on your competitors and what to improve on your site. Yeah, SERPstat is another one for identifying the gaps in your current SEO plans. So it's also a great source if you're looking for putting frequently asked questions on your website. That's a great way to update your pages. That's something that Google looks for a lot. And it shows you what's actually missing in your URL. So it shows these like clusters of suggestions. So if you put in the keyword, or you put in your URL that you're currently going for, it tells you all these other keywords that you could be ranking for. So that's a really good one as well. And then Answer the Public is one that's free, and all you do is enter in a keyword, and you can see what actual people are typing into Google. So you can use that to generate questions, and then all of those questions on your website is going to rank you above your competitors. So answering a bunch of questions on your website and adding more content is always a great idea. So yeah, this is just great ways, and this video down here is just a way that how to get over like that search plateau and using content and just auditing your website. So if you don't know where you're at, you don't know where to go. So if you audit your website with one of these tools or by hand, and then you'll know what's on your website, how many words are on each page, how many pictures you have, what's the quality of your title, and who's picking it up online. So after you use all these tools, you're going to be able to beat your competitors online, or at least know why you are not beating them, which is really the important part about this article, is if you don't know where you're at and where you need to go, and then most people just Google themselves and say, well, I'm number 5, how come I'm not number 1? Well, this is how you get to number 1.
Oh, a lot of great information in here. Paul, I'm wondering, are people still going to need our help after they get all this great information?
Probably not.
Well,
Of course they will. There's what's that?
I said, as a sales guy, I'm a little worried about that situation.
No. There's any as with any area of technology, whether it's SEO or anything else, there's always more you can dive into to learn more details. So Robin's giving you the topical information about some of the different tools that are out there. Any of this, you're going to have to dive into in more detail. But if you're looking for some great tools to start evaluating your presence in any specific way, Robin's list here is definitely a great place to start.
Absolutely. So while I have a chance to jump in the middle here, I did want to ask: are we able? Is our chat box up to speed yet? Or are we still working on that?
You know what? I've been looking. That's what I've been working on. Looks like we just put SSL certificate on our site. Well, we've had it on there, but we forced all the pages to be secure, which is a ranking factor for SEO. And it looks like that's why the chat box isn't working anymore. So I'm looking for an alternative chat box solution than what we've used in the past. So it's probably not going to be ready for today's webinar. But if you are joining us through the Hangouts live event, there is a chat box on the left side that you can click on to chat with us, and we'd be happy to answer your questions there.
They can also shoot a little email over to me, Terry at awesomedynamic.com. I can relay some things in as well if that'll help. So I wanted to just check on that because we do like the input and the interaction with people watching our show here. Also, while I have the chance, I want to go through our services real quick and talk about what we do. So again, if someone could pull up the website for me, it would be outstanding. But basically, in a nutshell, we're going to bring you new targeted customers. And the way we do that is with responsive web design, with the search engine optimization, which of course we're talking about here. Also with the Google virtual tours, which is a great way to preview your business, and also to get a little SEO boost out of it as well. If your competitors don't have one and you do, you're going to get quite a little boost from that as well. And last but not least, we are Amazon seller consultants, and we can help you get on Amazon to sell your product, or we could take that a few steps forward and really help you develop your sales and increase them dramatically with our expertise in the world of Amazon. So keep in touch with us, Terry at awesomedynamic.com, or go through our website if you have any questions on any of those services. Also, we have a place for you to review us and give us a Google 5-star review on our website, as well as a place for you to join the Awesome List. Should you want to be on our mailing list so you can keep up to speed on the latest things that are going on here over at Awesome Dynamic. Guys, what did I miss?
As part of that awesome list, I just want to let you know that videos like these, or these webinars that we do to talk about specific topics that Robin has written a blog about, in addition to the portion where we talk about that blog, which goes on the blog itself, will be emailed out. So you'll not only know what we've covered, and you'll have a link to that blog in there. We put a video of that section on the blog, so you're able to see a discussion, us talking about some of those different topics in detail. And that's delivered right to your inbox, and that happens twice per week. The first one's going to be a direct link to that article, and the second one's reminding you, hey, here's the next topic coming up, so you can get that valuable information. And as you know, we jump right into the information right at the beginning of the webinar because we know you want to get that information right away when we get started here. Terry, back to you.
Thank you. And I did want to mention that, we've been doing a lot of SEO work. That's Robin, Blake, and Paul, especially in the area of our Amazon seller consulting business. And I am getting calls from all over the country and some from out of the country on a regular basis. So if I wasn't convinced, being one of the newer ones to the company, on how well that will work for you, I am now, because I'm answering those calls on a regular basis, and it's really unbelievable. And you can get there as well by taking advantage of some of the things we talk about, or bringing us in to give you some help. So with all of that being said, and while we are on the subject of SEO, Robin attended a seminar last week, and we were hoping she was going to give us a little bit of a rundown on what's new and exciting in the SEO world.
Yes, I'm going to chat this link over to Blake here, and it's in the chat box there. So that is basically the recap of everything that happened on that day. And there's a whole list of the speakers that I sent over. So we're just going to go over the main points. If any one has any questions during it, we can go over that as well.
Sure. And Robin, I know is going to this seminar was at Navy Pier in Chicago, and that particular seminar had a whole bunch of folks that are specialists in the SEO industry, and also some pretty high level marketing executives from large companies like Granger and Home Depot were there as well, talking about what they do in the SEO space and the things that they're finding are working for their large corporations. So a lot of interesting folks from a whole bunch of different areas, all pertaining to things things related to SEO. And Robin, I'm really interested in some of your key takeaways and some of the folks that you talk to, so we can share that with our viewers today.
Sure. All right, let me just pull up the seminar here. But I do want to say that a lot of times we have search. Let me just pull it up here.
Pulling up the Navy Pier Summit page. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, okay, I got it here.
Right.
I wanted to say that normally we have a ton of actionable items that you can take away and do today. So these are all the speakers. So he was talking about AMP. We had a representative from Google. We had some Home Depot, Search Engine Journal, all of these big name companies, and especially search metrics here as well. So we had a mix of SEO companies and actual companies that put it that are using it in, today. So, but we usually have some key takeaways you can take away and do today on your website. But this specific session is going to be a mix of that combined with long-term strategies. And thinking about SEO not just in the short term and ranking for one keyword, within the next 6 months, but also thinking your long-term strategy, your 5-year plan. What's going to be your SEO, and how's that going to integrate into all of the departments, not just SEO on its own. Okay, so the first one that was up was Gary Ills from Google, and he was specifically talking about AMP. And AMP is a newer program to make your websites mobile friendly. If you already have a mobile friendly site, you can probably just stick with that one. But if you're on the border of transitioning to a mobile friendly site, I know that there's a lot of different companies that said that they saw a huge boost after they used AMP, especially in mobile results, in terms of conversion rates and traffic. So that's definitely one thing that you want to think about.
Can I comment on that for a moment, Robin?
Yeah.
So AMP stands for Accelerated Mobile Pages Product. So it's actually AMPP, technically. Although you're seeing it, it's called the AMP project. So it's AMP project. But sometimes they do the 2 Ps. Essentially, it's instant pages everywhere on the mobile devices. What Google's looking for is for pages to load on mobile devices instantly. So there's no wait time at all for mobile devices at all. And that requires coding pages in a very specific way. So this way, those pages just pop right up onto the screen. So there's a specific way to do that, and in Google, this Gary Ills was really pushing this as a very important thing, probably because A, it will become a ranking factor sooner than later, and B, just having your standard responsive site isn't going to be enough to rank prominently on Google on mobile, and as we know, mobile traffic accounts for over 60% of all traffic on the internet today. So thinking about AMP and implementing AMP is something that's part of your SEO and website strategy will become more and more important as time moves forward. Just a couple years ago, getting into a responsive site was a new thing for a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that aren't even in a responsive site yet. So now we're looking at the idea that this whole accelerated mobile pages needs to be integrated into websites sooner than later. I can tell you from our end, we're researching different ways to integrate that in WordPress, because right now there is no easy integration with WordPress. So we're taking a look at some of the different options that are out there to make it, well, not only is there integration with WordPress, but there's also the idea that it's going to be easy for clients to edit their own accelerated mobile pages within the WordPress framework as well, which is important. So this way you're not having to edit content in two places, and you're not causing anything to make sure that those pages aren't loading very quickly. So I have done some research on AMP specifically. It isn't just a Google project. It is something that Google is spearheading, but a lot of giant organizations worldwide are buying into it as the correct direction to march forward with how mobile content is delivered to devices, and it's something that we need to take seriously and move forward with. So, Robin, did you want to move on to the next item that you had there?
Sure. Well, just one more thing on AMP. I think the main difference is that a lot of mobile-friendly websites, they load the entire page, and then that's why they load slow. What AMP is they only load what's absolutely necessary above the fold, and they won't load the rest of the page unless you scroll down. So there are some other programs that do that as well, but that's one of the big things about AMP, why it's so quick. Okay, so the second one, just related to how fast your website is really stripping down the coding and the plugins and the scripts only to what's absolutely necessary, because one of the biggest ranking factors today is the site speed. If you don't know how fast your site is, you can simply go to GT metrics like we have here on the next bullet, and you want to, and this is where you're really going to test your web developer, is because you want to be able to send them GT metrics and ask them if they can strip out anything from the coding, plugins, or the scripts, and they definitely will be able to. So you just have to make sure you keep on them, and you can. And if they say no, we can't do any of this, or it's gonna, we're gonna charge you an insane amount, just keep asking them. Okay, well, what are you charging me for? And really get into the transparency of that, because this will take time to fix, but make sure that they're doing something and they're not just doing nothing and charging you. So you want to make sure that, and the one way to check that is to check GT metrics, see how fast it is, and then once we take all that stuff and do all this, and then they send you a bill, then check it after. And if it hasn't improved or if it's gotten worse, then you know that they haven't done anything. So if it's gotten better, and then you know that they did something. So that's the quick and easy way to check. There are some things that you can't change on here, and I'm sure Paul can speak to this, but basically almost every website has something in there that they don't need. And there's always some way you can improve to make your website faster. Unless your website's loading in a half a second, and then there's always something you can do to improve. And that's not just the average for the whole page, it's for each page.
Well, let's take a look at that one that you have prepared for our for Lake Forest Flowers, because we can take a look and see if there's anything specific on here. And one of the easiest ones is specify. Yeah, you see, optimize images is probably going to be on there. Oh, they have an A+ on that one. That's one that's usually pretty bad, but the GT metrics will actually specify which exact images need to be optimized further, smaller in file size.
And there is an improvement in here. There's a couple they can reduce a little bit further.
Tiny, but they got an A,
yeah.
So they could get up to 100% by getting some of those done. But look at the other one that says specify image dimensions, and you got a F on this one. So it's saying that all these images were loaded in the website, but the code doesn't tell the browser what size the picture is. So basically, the browser has to load all the images into the site, and then it needs to figure out what size they have to be. Well, if it knows what size it is while it's loading it, it can do it faster. So if the dimensions were specified in each of these different images that are right there, then the site can load faster. And you can see the page load time on this thing is 5.4 seconds, which is extremely slow. We like to see anything under 3 seconds, and really in today's world in 2016, should be trying to get under 1 second for your load time. But this is just one example of something that is very easy to identify. We're just talking about pictures here. We're not talking about any crazy coding stuff, which is some of these other things here. But I'll let you get back to your list, Robin.
Sure. So what you can do is actually just run this and then send it over to your web developer. Yeah. Another thing is just, this has to do with AMP and how fast your site loads. It tells you each item that's loading on your site, and then how many seconds it takes for each, or how many milliseconds it takes for each of those items, and what order they load in. So you can get really down to the details on that. Okay, let me just go back to here. Okay, so definitely stripping down your website and making it faster. And then another one that was very interesting was this note of using Reddit as a social media platform. So everyone on their website has a Facebook button, has a Twitter button, probably has a LinkedIn or Instagram. Reddit's actually the fastest growing social media platform, not Facebook. And that's of unique visitors. So what's interesting is that there is virtually no competition on Reddit. If you really know how to use Reddit and you get the culture of Reddit, you can take advantage of this platform. There's hardly any businesses on there, and if small businesses to large businesses, I mean, you can really take advantage. There's a special section for businesses, but you have to know the Reddit kind of client. The Reddit user is, they don't want to be advertised to, so you can't just keep putting up ads like you would, or put up posts that have nothing to do with anything, just advertising your business like you would on Facebook. There is also a paid option on Reddit where you can do sponsored posts and have them help you out with that. But there's so many opportunities on here, and a lot of people are just kind of afraid to go on to Reddit because they don't understand it. I mean, spend a little, if you have the time in your budget, spend a little bit of that on Reddit and you can see great results. So some of the results would include backlinks. Some other results would include just press releases and articles, and you can get a whole lot of stuff from Reddit. Yeah, so the stat is 235 million unique visitors each month. That is a lot of people to reach. And 140 million of those are English speaking. So you can also get other ideas. You can do an AMA, which is an Ask Me Anything. That's a very popular type of forum that you can do on there. But the other thing is you need the right person to answer these. You can't just ignore questions, ignore hard questions on Reddit. You have to really answer everyone's questions, no matter what it is. So if you're a big brand, or even if you're a smaller brand, you definitely want to launch a campaign that's going to make sense for you and it's going to make sense for Reddit. It's a great place to get focus groups. So if you don't have the budget for focus groups, go on Reddit and try and figure out your customers through there. It's good for brand awareness as well, and also for creating content on your website. So if you don't have a huge budget and you need some more content ideas, that's where you would get those content ideas. You can also research specific age groups. So if you have a product that's for, a certain age, you can reach out to those people through Reddit. So huge opportunity that almost no businesses are taking advantage of right now. Did you guys have any comments on that, or do you guys use Reddit, or what's your current knowledge of Reddit?
Everything current knowledge on Reddit, I have to say, but interesting opportunity, that's for sure.
Terry, you're cutting out pretty bad there, but I'll jump in and say that Tim DeWarian, who does a lot of our Amazon consulting, is a very avid Reddit user, and he's been using it for quite a long time. And he is always picking up a lot of information that he finds on Reddit. Is new information about what's happening in the Amazon world. So other Amazon sellers that are on there, different things that they're finding out, sharing that information with each other. So we find a lot of really up-to-date recent information about what's happening in that particular space, in that niche, and we're able to then research it further because we found out about it in that what they call a subreddit. So that is a source of information that we look at from time to time. Terry, looks like you're unfrozen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Do you want to say what you just said a second ago? Because what you said was unintelligible.
I was just saying that I think most of what I know about Reddit I just heard right now, so I might not.
Well, it was
Awesome.
interesting hearing from Robin that this is the fastest growing social media network, and it doesn't surprise me because it's just a lot of people that aren't into uh, all the same. It's not about being friends with people. It's about discussing particular topics and things like that, or learning about new news items. I mean, I don't know how many times Tim will introduce to me just a funny video that he found on Reddit before it even becomes popular on YouTube and becomes a viral video.
See,
And be
that's
like,
what
oh,
I use it for.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Robin uses it for too. So Tim will even say to me, "Oh yeah, I saw that when it only had 1,000 views, but now it has 4 million." So he's like,
It's
"Yeah,
like I knew
there's
that band before it was cool.
So
yeah,
now we know what
exactly."
Tim's doing all the time, huh?
What's that, Terry?
I said now we know what Tim's doing all the time.
That's right. That's right.
All right,
And
guys.
So
So I want to just make sure that we're watching our time because
all
we're
right.
going about 20 minutes, and we also got to get to our feature of the day.
All right, this one's easy because we went over it a little bit already for the previous blog article. So you can use this program called SEO Tools for Excel plugin. There's also other programs out there like SpiderFrog or SEMrush. It'll just give you all these data points. If you're always stuck at the same position on Google and you've been doing SEO for a long time, and you want to push up higher, this is one of the ways that you can do it. So that's how you would break through the plateau. Um, and then so if you got through most of your SEO checklist, or they did most SEO companies will do an initial analysis of your website and find out where the gaps are. After you get all of that done and really put your website in a good shape, now what you have to do is start all over again basically and do a monthly content update and do like a content gap analysis. So basically, where are you missing keywords? Where are you missing maybe even products if you're a bigger company that sells a lot of products, or even if you're an Amazon seller, and then you would want to see what are my opportunities. So this is after you've completed all of the SEO basics, and then you want to further your site and keep your spot on Google. And then one's really basic that you can do today, just downloading and just reading the Google guidelines. That tells you exactly what you need to do on your website, and just make sure you're following those, and that could boost you on Google as well.
all right, thank you, Robin. So let's cruise over to lakeforestflowers.com. And Robin, do you want to? I mean, Terry, what do you think? Do you want to do the first initial impression? You want Robin to get going on this?
Oh, I do
What do you want
before
to
she
do?
takes all my good stuff away from me.
Okay, all right. So Terry, you get going on this,
You know,
and
I
then
like
we'll let
I
Robin
like
fill
that
in the
low hanging
gaps.
fruit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I like to go through that. So, of course, one of our local people that we know, and we're having a look at their website, and of course, right away, no address, no phone number. I do see the nice red order flowers, which I like, but I don't really love where it is. But I notice you have to go all the way down to the footer to find out their phone number or their address, and this just can't be. We can't have that. That's got to be right up top, and the first thing you want to see if they want to call you, if they want to come there, etc. That's something that has to be readily available right away. So that's my biggest and first and foremost concern. The other thing I noticed right away is their copyright date down at the bottom is not up to speed, and that should be current always for this year. Makes people know that you're still there and active and going strong. I know this business is about to celebrate, as it says right up there, their 100-year anniversary, but we want people to know that they are still there and getting ready to celebrate. So those are the first things that jump out to me right away. So I like the look of it. I like the slideshow. Some of the pictures I think are nice. But those are issues that definitely need to be addressed right away. Let's get that name, the phone number, and the address, and a call to action, maybe in a little better spot.
I'm going to jump in and say that the slideshow with the flowers going across is nice. I love the pictures. At the same time, it seems to be going a bit fast for me to be able to read the content that is there. And I see the read more buttons. But one thing I really like to do is highlight the main reasons why I would get flowers from you. So, and I want to see how those, how your, the depth of your services. And I imagine that, let's go to the Our Services tab here, Robin. We'll take a look. As you do things for weddings. Yeah, so you have weddings as a separate item. You have holiday decorating. And if you highlight the wedding or the holiday decorating and floral design workshops as main slides in your slideshow going across, I imagine those are high revenue type projects that are there. Of course, you do the bouquet that somebody's going to send to Lake Forest Hospital for their loved one, or the bouquet that's going to somebody for Mother's Day or for somebody's birthday or anything like that, special occasions. But when you get a wedding, that's a big chunk of change right there. And I think that not only the weddings or the holiday decorating and maybe the workshops could be something that we're featuring in that slideshow right there on the homepage. Go back to the homepage, Robin, for a moment. We could see maybe a nice picture of a church with beautiful flowers everywhere and say, make your special day amazing with Lake Forest flowers. And then you just see all the flowers all over the place. And then the next slide comes by. Notice I only gave you maybe 5 to 10 words with that little phrase. The next slide comes over and says, holiday decorating to bring fresh flowers to make it amazing. And then you see maybe a crazy, awesome floral display that's filled with poinsettias or something for a holiday scene, for example. And then the next slide comes over and shows a whole bunch of people in maybe your shop there working on one of these floral workshops, and floral workshops so you can really understand the art of doing these arrangements. So this way you're really promoting your main services in your slideshow rather than trying to read what this is. They look like they're testimonials maybe, and I'd like to take those testimonials, maybe put them at the bottom, or they don't need to be at the bottom, but we can mark those up with schema markup, and then each individual page on your website could have golden stars. And I'd love to maybe reach out to some of these people that are leaving testimonials and have them leave a 5-star review on your Google My Business or your Facebook page or Yelp page or something like that. But in terms of that big slideshow area, promote those things that make you the most money. That's really what you want to hammer home when somebody comes here. They got to know that in the first 3 to 5 seconds. And right now, I'm not getting the fact that you do weddings looking at this page as it exists without doing anything. I don't see anything about weddings. And if that was in the slideshow, I would know that instantly. So that's a big piece that's important to me. And then, Robin, I'm going to send it over to you to continue to comment.
Yeah, I like that you do have this order of flowers. That's kind of a call to action within the menu. But, if we're over here on your services, we would want a huge button here as well saying, order now or call us. Instead of doing this wedding consultation questionnaire as your current call to action, you don't want them to be doing this questionnaire, fill it out halfway, and then never talk to you again. You want really to get them on the phone. So
let's see how long that questionnaire is.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
So, and that would be interesting for you to measure, and you should know this. If you don't, wow, this is really long. So what you need to do is find out, this is lakeforestflowers.com/bridal-questionnaire. What your mission is going to be, hopefully you have Google Analytics on this thing. I'd be interested to know how many people have gotten to this page and have never hit the submit button, and how many have gotten to this page and have hit the submit button, because that could be representing how much business you're losing by this form being so long. What we really believe is, even if you want to collect or get the lead through the website, which we're all about, just get their name, email, and phone number. You can always call them, send them a form to fill out, send them to this form on your website. If they say, oh yeah, I'll fill it out all online, great. But if you never get the client information, the contact lead information, you've lost them. So we always recommend if you have an initial engagement form, keep it as short as possible because they might be halfway through this and something distracts them. They get a phone call, they move on with their day. Who knows? Yeah, or they get to the form and like, oh my God, I don't have time to fill this out, and then they just move on. You don't want to lose leads as a result of that. So if you're able to get their phone number, email, and name, at least you can follow up on the lead and try and close it. Go ahead,
And
Robin.
yeah, as an alternative, you can put that as the first couple ones and then track that. So let's say the first one was name and phone number. Then if they only get to those top two, you can still capture that information from this form.
Right. We use that with Wufoo. So they have like a multi-step form. So if the first 3 or 2 pieces of information are name and phone number, and they hit the next button, and then you present them with 87 things to ask them, it'll actually collect those first 2 pieces of data. If they abandon the form, you'll still have it. So that's something that needs to be addressed here. And I'd really encourage you to find out how many people abandon that form because it is really long.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, this is very small text. On a mobile site, you won't even be able to read that on your phone unless you zoomed in. And then this, Terry brought up a good point about this 100 years. So it just says tradition since 1917. It's very subtle here. But I think the bigger deal here is, okay, same location, and we've been open literally for 100 years. So something huge, a banner across saying celebrating 100 years, or even in the slideshow, celebrating 100 years. And why not? So we have all the close-ups of the bouquets and the flowers and arrangements. But how about having a more local feel and just putting the front of the business and the front window so that they are a picture of somewhere in downtown Lake Forest so that you can get a local feel, and plus the celebrating 100 years. I think that would be a nice touch to the slideshow. But the menu here and the website's very clean. That's one really great thing. And then this call to action could probably be above the fold. So the fold is anything where you have to scroll down. So you want your call to action to be above right here. I like that you have the events. Maybe you can even have an events page. And so your homepage is all pictures, which is good, but you also want to integrate text in order to rank better on Google. So we recommend 1,500 words on the homepage, but if that's mixed within pictures, it really is not that long of just text, and breaking it up with bullet points and videos. But besides that, we can take a look at the contact page as well. Okay, so here's the picture. I would say get a professional photographer and get a really great sunny picture of the front, and you can even put that right in your slideshow, and maybe with your staff in front as well, holding flowers. That would be great.
So they know, the staff there is friendly. Yeah, everybody sees the location when they're driving by. They know they're in the right place when they come to the website right away. You have a very charming location. I'm actually looking at, and I'll. Blake, if you'd flip over to my screen for just a moment, you can see that I pulled it up on Google Street View here. Charming location. This is just a picture from the street here.
That picture looks better.
Yeah, and this isn't it's just a Google car going by. We just get these couple orange cones out of there and get some folks over here. I think you have a van over here, maybe. Yeah, you can even get the van parked right over here in the parking spot here. Get a couple people out there smiling. I think that'd be a great picture to have as one of your front and center pictures. All right, Blake, you put that back in Robin's screen now.
Yeah, so SEO isn't always about the technical back-end website stuff. Sometimes it's just about the user experience and how to keep people on your website longer. So if they're on your website longer and they visit more pages, they're more likely, one, to contact you, and also your stats on Google Analytics will be up. So more pages and more time on your site means that people will visit, or you will move up in the search ranks. That's a huge ranking factor, is how much time people spend on your site. The other thing that's missing here is a blog. So without the blog, you're not getting fresh content on the site, and that means your page is static, which means Google doesn't crawl your page as much, and it's little robots that read your page. they don't go and visit your page. So if Google's not visiting your page, they won't rank it online. So by having the fresh contact all the time, or content, that will improve it. I see you have press highlights, which is great, but we only have a couple here, so we want just new snippets and pictures, but we also would want a blog section of 300 to 600 words on each blog, and do that at least once a month at minimum.
Right. Let's take a look at some of the other services there. Do we get into some detail on some of those services, Robin?
The weddings one was a little bit longer, but I think, let's see, the holiday decorating. Okay, so you don't have quite 300 words on here. You have probably about 120. So you definitely want some more pictures on there, and maybe you can even do a slideshow of these pictures. So you definitely want bullet points. Maybe you want more. You definitely want more headers. You could write everything about holiday decorating, like, well, what time of year do you do holiday decorating? You could have frequently asked questions on here.
What
Maybe
holidays do you do? Do we do Easter? Yeah. Do we do Christmas? Do we do Halloween specific stuff? I mean, if they don't know that you do it, then they don't know. And if you could put a whole bunch of different examples on here, that would be fantastic.
And add the word flower in here. Holiday flower decorating, flowers for weddings, or wedding flowers, everyday beauty flowers. So you need to have the actual word flowers in here, or you'll be ranking for the word. You don't want to rank for the word weddings. You want to rank for wedding flowers.
Right. And take a look at this. So holiday decorating. If you were to just search that on Google, would a flower website come up?
No.
At all? No. It'd probably be something about like Christmas lights or something, or just decorating companies in general.
All kinds of things.
Yeah. So that's where if you specifically do things with holiday flower decorating, so you got to get that in there so Google knows that, hey, your page is about flowers specifically. You're competing against everybody else who does holiday decorating. Same thing with weddings. If the main heading on your page and all the optimization around it is just about weddings, we really need to indicate to Google, well, what does your business do pertaining to weddings specifically? And that's where you want to have wedding flowers on there, and then Google knows to rank you for that.
I'm just searching for flowers as if I was sitting in Lake Forest today, and this is what comes up. We have the ads up here, but shop for flowers over there, which actually this is an old version of Google. They usually don't have these sponsored links on the side. But then we have the knowledge graph here, which is where you want to rank. And
Lake Forest floral design is the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so we need to get Lake Forest flowers in there. So if we do the more places, I know it's going to default back to where you're at in Chicago. But if you do Lake Forest, at least we can kind of get an idea, and then click the maps button there. So at least we can get a good idea of, well, of course, it's going to come up. It's just wanting to show this one.
I can do in.
Yeah, let's try it. Lake flowers.
Flowers.
And then try maps on this one.
Okay. You know what I think it is? That not everyone has their Google filled out, their Google My Business filled out. So that's why the maps is not even showing up in here.
Okay.
Which is a huge advantage for you, because all you'd have to do is just fill out your Google My Business 100% and claim it. And then not only can you add more pictures in there, but you can also post in there, which can translate into higher rankings on Google. And you can also respond to these reviews here. I can see you don't have a 5.0. Say there's my review. What we do, okay, so I do see response from the owner here, but okay, so you're doing a good job. You're responding to every one of them. And it looks like we have, let's see, the lowest one. Okay, so you have a 4-star review here. You could add to this response by adding to contact you personally, maybe putting your cell phone number on there or an email they can reach you at, and why why they didn't give you the 5 stars.
Is there anything we can do to earn the 5-star?
Mm-hmm.
So they probably knocked 1 star off for being pricey, but it's we want to get 5 stars from everybody. So, but you don't have a bad situation on your hands by any means, and you have your gold star showing, which happens when you get at least 5 reviews as well. So that's good. But when going back to that search result that you had a moment ago, and you set it up using that tool showing what are the results that happen when I search for flowers, being a person that's searching from Lake Forest, you're not coming up in this 3-pack, and that's a concern. Is this searching? We might be in the wrong town. I think it's looking in California. Let's go
Okay,
back.
I'll put Lake Forest, Illinois.
That's why you weren't coming up in that. Like, wait a minute, that map doesn't look familiar.
Good catch.
Okay, flowers.
But at some of the places outside of your town that if you do some of the SEO stuff, you'll start to show up for as well. So here you go. You got somebody ahead of you that has less reviews than you. And that could be because your name, address, and phone number isn't as consistent as theirs, and a number of other things like some of the things we recommended for your website, technical things in your website. But that kind of controls the order of stuff that can show up.
Okay. Yep, those are still around me. I can try one more time. Maybe put Illinois.
And you can, there you go.
So from where I'm searching, so the results are going to differ. If someone's searching on their phone and they're searching in the middle of Lake Forest versus the edge of Lake Forest, these search results can change.
Mm-hmm. But we want to get you up to the top of the list, and obviously if there's people searching outside of Lake Forest and you want their business, we want you to show up for that as well. All right, Terry. Well, I'm sorry, Robin. You want to go through the reporting here?
Oh, just wanted to show you your scores. This is Page Speed Insights. You can just Google those 3 words and then Google has this program where you just type in your URL. Then you would just see your desktop score is 54, and that's 47. So all you would have to do is ask your web developer to fix these items, and then you can score higher on here, which in turn will get your site crawled more, and then you can also get higher up in the rankings.
Beautiful. All right, so they're not in bad shape there, but they definitely have some things on the site and little SEO work to do, and they can really be in a pretty strong and dominating position and be ready to excel for the next 100 years.
That's right.
It's looking good. So it's time for us to start wrapping up our show for today. So if you liked what you saw today, speaking of reviews, we would love for you to give us a 5-star Google review, and you can do that right at the bottom of our homepage at our website, awesomedynamic.com. If you're interested in having your business featured on one of our episodes, all you got to do is get in touch with me, Terry, at awesomedynamic.com. We'd be glad to do that for you. And again, don't forget to sign up for our awesome list and make sure that we get you our email so you know what's upcoming. And last thing I did want to mention for our local people that we will be doing a Google My Business seminar in Vernon Hills on July 21st, and we'll have some information for you on that, but you can check with us for details. And what did I miss? Anything?
I think we should ask for if you thought that this was valuable to you, we'd like you to come down to the bottom of our page, click on this Review Us button, and that'll bring you to Google to leave us a 5-star review. We love helping folks out, and if we were able to do that effectively for you, please leave us a 5-star review in Google. We would really appreciate it.
All right, couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Well, I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. And thanks again for coming to the Awesome Dynamic Show.
Adios.
Bye-bye.